What is a soul? That is a question that humanity has been wrestling with for ages, and one hotly debated by philosophers, theologians, and scholars of all kinds. While we may never truly be able to answer that question in real life, though, the realm of fiction offers us plenty of ways to explore different ideas and interpretations of the human soul. The world of Runeterra, in particular, has a very fascinating approach to the idea of the soul and what that means for all living things in League's mythos. Before we go on, though, I do have to stress, a lot of this video is going to be my own personal headcanon. Most of the things I say in this video will be primarily fan theories I've concocted by overanalyzing League's lore for hours on end. While I feel confident in a lot of my interpretations, there's a good chance that even the writers at Riot themselves haven't thought this deeply about the topics we'll be discussing. So if anything comes along later that contradicts what I say in this video, well, I'll be slightly annoyed but not really surprised. With all of that out of the way, let's return to the initial question. What is a soul? League has plenty of characters among its roster that tie into the ideas of the supernatural. You have champions that are straight up undead, and others who have been fully brought back to life. Some use their own soul as a source of power, while some can manipulate the souls of others. While it can be harnessed by mortals, spirit magic is quite distinct from elemental magic. The latter focuses on controlling the forces of nature, while the former seems to rely more on manipulating abstract concepts such as thoughts, memories, emotions, and dreams. There are also spirits themselves to consider, entities that don't typically reside in the mortal plane but originate from their own realm. We do know, however, that the spirit realm also serves as Runeterra's equivalent to the afterlife, among other things. Those who pass on typically find themselves here, primarily within a sub-region called the Realm of Death. Mordekaiser's lore implies that the Realm of Death is, or at the very least was, a vast gray expanse where souls drifted aimlessly until they eventually disappear. Through sheer will and spite, the warlord persevered, even learning to speak the language of the dead, which is called Aknun. As it happens, learning someone's true name in the Aknun language grants you the ability to take control of their soul. Mordekaiser, as it happens, is actually the Aknun name of a man called Sanuzal. It's also German and translates roughly to Murder Emperor. A bit on the nose, but it is rather fitting since Zanuzal was a conquering warlord who built his nation off the deaths of his enemies. He ruled an empire fueled by murder. This, I think, gives us enough clues to work with. In short, a soul can be considered one's identity. It is the very embodiment of who and what an entity is. All their ideals, recollections, and deeds, everything that defines who they are or were as a person. A soul, then, is the idea of someone or something given form, be it through their own actions or the works of others. We can see this at play with spirits and demons, who are known to begin their existence as beings of pure consciousness. Jana, for example, started out as nothing more than a formless wind spirit who could only interact with the world through her weak manipulations of the air. It was only as superstitions about her grew that she started to gain more power. People created stories, and even eventually an entire religion around her. Jana became a goddess because people believed her to be one, and the same appears to be true for many of Runeterra's deities. Volibear, for example, canonically has two forms, the god of storms and the thousand-pierced bear. The former is a manifestation of those who actually revere Volibear as a deity, while the latter appears to be depictions of Volibear as a savage monster. Thousand Pierced may also be slightly void corrupted, which makes sense as the void is known for twisting the minds of those it comes into contact with and erasing their sense of self. Speaking of which, spirits and demons are also shown to be capable of possessing people and erasing their sense of self. Volibear is also an example of this, as he tends to transform those who try to channel his power into monsters called the Ursine, savage beasts with next to no humanity remaining. However, those who cultivate strong wills, like Udir, can resist this transformation altogether. Indeed, the very concept of spirit channeling can be thought of as mixing one's own essence with that of a powerful entity, and only by maintaining a strong sense of self can one resist being overcome. The spirits in the Freljord aren't the only deities shown to be capable of possessing people. The aspects of Targon are also capable of taking on mortal hosts. And while it usually functions like a symbiotic relationship, we've seen that they can attempt to completely override a host if they so desire. To that end, the Darkin also try to take over their host bodies, even warping the physical form into a crude approximation of their previous ascended forms, or sometimes new monstrosities altogether. This also tracks with demons, specifically lesser demons called Azakana, who are known to latch onto and possess mortals. Yone is currently fused with one such demon, for example. In fact, Azakana appear to have this whole theme of masks, which is fitting. Faces are often closely tied to the concept of identity, after all. Furthermore, Runeterra's death spirits are also known to wear masks, and fade away when they are forgotten. Now, there's a lot that we still don't know and understand about the masked spirits, but we do know that they too can fade away into nothing when their names are forgotten. In short, identities play a crucial role in League's lore. They are the essence of souls, and when an identity is changed or forgotten, so too is the spirit attached to it. There are all manner of ways for one entity to possess another in Runeterra, but we're shown time and again that such possession can be staved off by the strength of one's will, i.e., how well a person truly knows and accepts themselves. At least, that's all my interpretation. But what do you guys think? Do you believe Runeterra's souls can be seen as a valid metaphor for identity, or is it something deeper that we mortals can simply never comprehend? Or am I just reading way too deeply into all of this? Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and until next time, stay bright.